Oftentimes, employment coordinators feel it will suffice to simply make a phone contact or send an email. But in terms of building trust and building relationships, it's really important to have face-to-face contact.
The hiring experience in the hotel industry is very difficult. What do I look for in an employee is just that sense of humor, that realness about them that makes them a real person, that it seems like they really want to be employed.
I think job development is really about speaking to the interests of the employer, filling their needs, and finding an individual that is a proper fit to meet the needs of that company.
We had a housekeeping position available, and Leo came to us and said, I have an applicant for you that I think he could fill your position.
I was just about ready to get another job, and then that same day, about 2 hours later, Josh calls me in and says, you're hired.
He started and didn't really like housekeeping. It wasn't that he was told he wasn't good at it or anything like that. He just didn't think, this isn't for me.
And so Garland came in, sat down with me and said, Josh, he has a willingness to work, he's honest. I think we could have a spot for him here. I just think that the details of housekeeping are too much.
So I gave him a call, and it didn't take a lot. I just said, hey, we'd like to give you a chance at something different. Come and give it a shot.
When approaching the topic of letting the employer know that the candidate may or may not have a mental illness, depends on one of two scenarios. If he or she signs a disclosure, that means I'm at liberty to speak on their behalf, to talk about possible accommodations the employer may want to grant. If the individual chooses not to disclose, then I do not introduce the illness to the employer at any point. Actually, almost all the time, I don't speak to the employer at all. I simply help the employee behind the scenes create a resume, do some job searching, do interview training, role playing, and practicing, and maybe as much as drive them to the interview and wait out in the parking lot.
With his mental illness, we knew that we were going to be working with someone that had some special needs. The key is the constant interaction between the employer, the job specialist, and Stephen.
Hey, Stephen, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. Well, it's been 6 months and you're still on the job. How do you like it?
Yeah, I love the
good.
job.
And everything going well? Do you have any concerns or
I'm
anything?
just worried about how my job's going and how I could do better. I was wondering if you could talk to Garland about it, see if I could do better.
Sure, I can mention that, but I'd like to work with you to find ways that you can more effectively ask him for better feedback and so you always know how things are going on the job and you're never in doubt.
Yeah, that'd be really good to do.
Hey, Garland, thanks for meeting with me today.
Yeah, no problem.
How are things going?
Pretty good. I think everything's going really good.
Hey, I spoke to Stephen not too long ago. He expressed concern. I think he's a little unsure about how things are going with his job. Do you sense that, or?
No, I didn't know that, but I'd want him to know that everything's fine.
Yeah, me too. I wonder if there are some ways we can maybe let him know or give him some feedback as to how things are going.
Yeah, you mean like encouragement, just...
Yeah, just positive reinforcement, more ongoing feedback and more frequent feedback.
Leo, he's been great. He's been there to help me. He's always been nice to me and answer any of my questions. And if I ever have any problems, I can go to him and tell him about it.
Stephen wants to work. He wants to be employed. He wants to earn a check, and he wants to do a good job. There's challenges, but nothing out of the ordinary that I would say any other person off the street would throw.
Stephen's working out really well.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
When he first came here to work for the Stratford Inn, was very shy and just to himself. And in the hotel industry, we have guests and we have people and we really have to interact. But you just see him growing as an individual with his confidence, being able to just perform his duties and know that he's doing a good job. And he seems a lot happier than he did when he first started his employment here. Would I do this again? Definitely.
What I think is important to make a first impression, it comes back to being yourself and comfortable with yourself and your strong belief that you have in yourself and your consumer. And I think that shines through.
We want somebody with some experience, and we want some people that are hospitable. We are in the hospitality industry. We want people that can communicate effectively with our guests or communicate effectively with their coworkers as well as their managers.
I think that what is most important is that you let them know they're important at the moment, And it's not all about you as an employment specialist or your consumer, if you have one in mind at the time. It's about getting to know their concept. It's about getting to know their needs. And I think once you have that established and you listen attentively, then you can bring in to the picture what you do and what you can do for them and how you can be a resource. It's really nice to have your supervisor to be able to bounce things off of.
Hey Mary, thanks for having lunch with me today.
Oh, I'm glad we have time to meet.
Oh, me too. Now listen, I was thinking about Freddie. Haven't you been working with him about 6 weeks now?
I have. It's going really well.
Great. What are you learning about his preferences for a job?
You know, with Freddie, it's all about having a job that's on the bus line, close to home, and somewhere where he can grow in the company.
And what employer have you been developing that you feel like might be a good match for his qualifications?
Well, the Hilton Garden Inn. It's been in business just for a couple years, kind of new. I've been in touch with the HR director, Kate Winkler.
Okay.
And she's really has a positive attitude, and it seems like it might be somewhat of a fit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. What I'd like to do is see about you maybe getting a meeting between her and you and I to talk about Freddie.
Sure. I will let her know that I'd like to come by and introduce you as well.
I find it to be very important to have that face-to-face contact. I think you can read so much more about what's going on. You can assess a situation so much better face-to-face than you can by phone.
I like to go ahead and make a phone call because to me that helps prepare them to set up a meeting and gives them a little bit about what I'd like to come in for. And then I get the face-to-face. I think that's truly where it's at.
Thanks for being here today, ladies. Come on in.
Thanks,
Let's
Kate,
have a
for
seat.
taking
Right.
some time with us today. Appreciate it.
We really do appreciate it, Kate. And more than that, we appreciate you being a community partner in supported employment.
That's right, very much so. Supported employment's a great thing. And I have someone who I think that would fit your needs here at the Hilton Garden. His name is Freddie Moore. He submitted it last week.
Freddie, I have his application right here.
Great,
Looks
great.
like he's got some great qualifications, Mary. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
Sure, Freddie's great. He's dependable, he's reliable, he makes efforts, he makes great strides in achieving.
He came in and he was looking for something that he could work on a part-time basis, that he could be comfortable in, and we were able to put him in a position in our dishwashing department and our stewarding department, and he's done very, very well in that area.
Freddie, I figured he would be dependable and that he would be here and he was eager to learn. Not just one job, but Freddie was eager to learn the whole kitchen, all around the kitchen, be cross-trained in different departments. And that's what really sold me on Freddie. Freddie helps out with the food prepping. We have box lunches, and Freddie put potato chips in or wrap the cookies and put them in bags and put them in the boxes and help seal them up and put them on the racks. Well, once we started doing inventory, I had Freddie to help me do inventory. I found out Freddie had a degree in math, and that would save my brain a little bit. And I told Freddie, would you like to help me do inventory? He said, yeah, I'll help you.
I like my work because it's good work. It helps keep me humble. It helps me to support my family, as well as provide some money for fun things to do. It's a good job at a good place.
Having Mary in our hotel and in our lives as the Hilton Garden Inn is just a wonderful addition to all of us. She walks in, she's always smiling, she's always bubbly, she knows everybody by name. She's the extension of my HR office.
The fun is going out and making relationships with employers and to be able to educate them about the people that I serve. Hi, JB. I've used Dartmouth College and Johnson & Johnson in several of my job developments. I do believe it has an impact. I think it's influenced a lot of community employers.
I think it's a terrific idea, and I believe it'll help someone else down the road. I'm hoping it'll help someone, because all these people need is an opportunity to prove themselves.
I'd be happy to do that for you. Anything else that you... I've just been really happy with the success that I've had within the community and all the employers I've developed and continue to have a relationship with. And I look forward to always building new relationships and developing, because there's many more out there that just haven't been educated yet.
I go in and say, hi, I'm Christine Sherwood. I'm an employment specialist, and I work with people that want to work, that these people may have a mental illness. They have skills and abilities to do a job.
The challenges of caring for someone with Alzheimer's and dementia are learning to adapt back to their reality. Ashley Manor Care Centers designed smaller homes for individuals with Alzheimer's and dementia. The more home-like atmosphere, so it feels like they're more at home instead of in an institution. I look for honest, dependable, caring, people who can take their own initiative and see if something needs to be done and do it. Someone that's willing to help and not just out for a paycheck. I first met face-to-face with Christine Sherwood over at our other facility. She approached me on hiring Lana for the position I had available in the newspaper. I agreed we would try it out as temporary, and if it worked, we would hire her as a complete employee.
Here you go. How are you doing today?
I clean rooms, I feed residents when they need it, we serve them meals and give them showers, and at the end of the day, we usually keep the laundry going and put them to bed.
Elsie, how's your day going today? Pretty good, pretty good. Good.
When an opening came up to work full-time, they only had the opening at the graveyard shift. And so she wanted to do that graveyard shift and get that full-time work in. And so I worked with Lana. Lana, I came by to see you and see how things are going at work. How are things going here?
They're going fine. I've just been tired from not getting enough sleep. I'm not sleeping too well during the daytime. It's kind of affecting the way I work at night.
Oh, well, yeah, I know you've had to adjust to a whole different schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're working the graveyard shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How are you doing on your meds? Are you...
I'm taking them. Maybe they just need to be taken a different way. Maybe adjusting them a little bit better, taking them at different times.
Yeah, that's a good idea to think about. How would you like to go to mental health and talk to the nurse?
Okay.
And see if maybe there's a way you can adjust your meds and you won't maybe feel so tired.
Sure.
Okay.
I'd be glad to.
I brought this paper if you want to write down some questions.
Okay.
And the result was her focus was better at work, she was able to concentrate and to do a good job.
Thank you. Throw it back to you? Yeah. My employment specialist helps me by giving me a lot of encouragement, and if I have a problem, I go talk to her, and she'll intervene to my boss if anything comes up, and we can all talk about it together. And
we came together today to talk about your job here, Lana, and do you remember we talked earlier about developing a list that will help you, remind you to do your different job duties?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Christine and we came up with an idea of writing out your job duties in detail and a schedule to follow.
Okay.
Do you think that would help you?
Sure.
Okay. Christine brought it today.
This is the list I put together around your shift schedule.
Okay.
The times don't have to be exact, just a rough estimate on around this time, this needs to get done.
Okay.
Oh, I noticed that you have 4:45 setting the dinner and bringing the residents to the table, and then 5 o'clock dinner. Is that 15 minutes going to be enough time, Lana, do you think?
If someone's helping me, and I'll try my speed up.
There's two people helping.
Oh, is there two people? Okay.
It should be as long as there's two people. Okay.
List looks good.
Yes.
You like it, Lana?
Yeah, I do. Okay. It's going to help me.
The duties of an employment specialist are communicate, focus on the skills of their individual, not their disability. Help come up with ideas to help them be successful.
I like to see people that have barriers become successful. So I like to go in and help provide support to the person and the employer to make it the best situation with people working.
The don'ts, don't just get the person the job and then not follow through. Make sure you call, make sure everything's going okay.
It does help with me supporting that person on a job because if there's any kind of issue or miscommunication, I'm there to kind of oversee it and bring the employer and the consumer together.
I think it's great for Johnson & Johnson and Dartmouth to be involved. There's not enough people that are willing to help. And just because you have something, a disability, no matter how severe it is, doesn't mean you can't function in the real world.
Okay. Vocational rehabilitation has helped with supporting Lana on the job. The counselor has worked closely with Lana and I. They've helped pay for a uniform, shoes. They paid for her schooling, which allowed her to get a certificate in personal care. Vocational rehab has been a very, very important partner to us and is very appreciated when it comes to helping people with disabilities. Lana is very goal-oriented. Her ultimate goal was to get off of Social Security.
I've been on Social Security for about 10, 15 years, as far back as I can remember. It's my goal to get off Social Security, be independent, pay my own bills and everything, and just show people that with a mental illness, that what I've got, that you can do it. I mean, it can be done.
When she became full-time, she started to earn more money, and she decided she wanted to drive again. And she used to drive, and it's been a long time, so she got this really neat red car that she's so proud of, and she's learning how to take care of it, you know, and so it's neat to see her take herself to and from work.
I just want to be friends with all of them, get along well with all of them, and I hope they consider me a friend.